Welcome to our show, Hong Kong Brief. I'm your host, Jenny. Today, we're diving into some exciting news as a group of investors, guided by Maverick Carter, is on a mission to raise $5 billion for an international basketball league. This league aims to bring a fresh twist to the sport, featuring both men's and women's teams rotating through global cities, reminiscent of the Formula One racing schedule. While they're not looking to rival the NBA, they're definitely aiming to create an exhilarating sports experience. In other news, China has reported a 5% economic growth for 2024, which aligns with the government's target. However, many economists are raising eyebrows over the sustainability of this growth, considering the ongoing property crisis and weak consumer spending. The figures may look good on paper, but the underlying challenges paint a different picture, making investors cautious about the future. Lastly, we have some adorable news from the animal kingdom. Hong Kong's panda twins, affectionately named elder sister and younger brother, are set to make their public debut after the Lunar New Year. With their mother, Ying Ying, taking care of them, these playful cubs are ready to charm everyone with their antics. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. Yahoo US reports that a group of investors, advised by Maverick Carter, is aiming to raise $5 billion to establish an international basketball league, potentially posing competition to the NBA. This ambitious project is backed by notable figures such as Skype co-founder Jeff Prentice and former Facebook executive Grady Burnett, with leadership from UBS Group AG and Evercore Incorporated. The league plans to feature 6 men's and 6 women's teams that will rotate through 8 global cities, reminiscent of the Formula One racing schedule. While the league does not intend to rival the NBA directly, it seeks to create a unique basketball experience akin to F1, with a shorter season and a focus on international appeal. The initiative coincides with the NBA's renewed engagement in China following a 5-year hiatus. Associated Press highlights the mixed performance of Asian shares after China reported a 5% growth rate in its economy for 2024, matching government expectations but indicating a slowdown from previous years. Despite a manufacturing boom fueled by strong exports and consumer spending, analysts predict further deceleration in growth amid rising tensions with the U.S., particularly regarding tariffs and technology access. Major stock indices in Hong Kong and Tokyo experienced slight declines, while Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation reported a significant profit increase, underscoring the complex dynamics within the tech sector. As oil prices rise and U.S. futures show modest gains, the global market remains volatile, reacting to economic indicators and forecasts. Nikkei Asia reports on the sharp decline of China Vanke shares amid speculation regarding the status of its president and CEO, Zhu Jiuxing. Following unverified reports of Zhu's detention by public security officials, Vanke stock plummeted in both Hong Kong and Shenzhen markets. The situation intensified with Zhu's ambiguous social media post claiming he was on a business trip, leaving investors anxious and uncertain. This turmoil comes at a time when Vanke, like many in the beleaguered real estate sector, is grappling with plummeting sales and financial instability. The company's historical significance as a pioneer in China's property market adds a layer of complexity to its current challenges, especially after Country Garden's staggering losses were revealed. Vanke's trajectory reflects the broader struggles of an industry once heralded as an economic engine for the nation. Nikkei Asia reports that Nintendo stock suffered a significant decline of 7.2% following the announcement of its next-generation Switch 2 console set for release in 2025. The announcement, which included a brief video showcasing the console, failed to provide any unexpected details regarding its price or exact launch date, leading to disappointment among investors. Analyst Hideki Yasuda noted that the stock had been buoyed by high expectations prior to the announcement but ultimately fell as the revealed information matched what was already anticipated. With upcoming earnings reports and an online presentation scheduled for April 2nd, there remains cautious optimism that the stock may rebound as more details about the console are unveiled. The South China Morning Post highlights the ongoing safety concerns surrounding bamboo scaffolding in Hong Kong, particularly following a recent incident where 11 individuals were injured in a collapse. This traditional construction method, while still prevalent in the region, poses significant risks, especially in adverse weather conditions. Experts emphasize the need for qualified engineers to oversee the design and maintenance of these structures, as the lack of academic focus on bamboo scaffolding in local engineering programs exacerbates the issue. The call for better training and regulation in this area is urgent, given the increasing number of accidents and the dwindling pool of skilled workers. In a festive spirit, the South China Morning Post also showcases a selection of luxurious dining options for the upcoming Chinese New Year in Hong Kong. Restaurants like the Chinese Library and Duddles are offering exquisite tasting menus featuring traditional dishes with a modern twist, such as braised abalone and premium poon choy. Each venue presents a unique culinary experience, from lavish dim sum brunches to elaborate multi-course dinners, all designed to celebrate the Year of the Snake. With a variety of menus available across the city, food enthusiasts are encouraged to indulge in the rich flavors and cultural significance of this festive season. South China Morning Post reports that the highly anticipated public debut of Hong Kong's giant panda twin cubs, affectionately named elder sister and younger brother, is set for February, following the Lunar New Year. Born to mother panda Ing Ing 6 months ago, the cubs are now ready to greet visitors at Ocean Park. As they explore their enclosure filled with rocks, grass, and trees, zookeepers have created an engaging indoor playground featuring a wooden rocking horse and a slide. Videos show the cubs joyfully navigating their toys, showcasing their developing mobility and playful nature. Meanwhile, in other zoos across China, pandas are also seen enjoying various enriching toys, capturing the hearts of animal lovers online. According to the Associated Press, China's population has declined for the third consecutive year, raising alarms about the country's demographic future. The population at the end of the previous year was reported at 1.408 billion, a drop of 1.39 million from the prior year. This trend mirrors a broader decline in birth rates across East Asia, where factors such as rising living costs and a focus on education and careers are leading young people to postpone marriage and childbirth. The aging population combined with a shrinking workforce poses significant challenges for China's economy and social stability. In another report by South China Morning Post, shares of China Vanke, a leading state-backed property developer, plummeted by more than 8% amid rumors of CEO Zhu Jiusheng's detention by police. This news has intensified concerns over the company's ability to manage its significant debt, with nearly $4.9 billion in bonds due this year. Following the report, Vanke shares opened at their lowest point since last September, and several of its bonds were temporarily suspended from trading. Analysts suggest that the situation could further destabilize the already struggling property market in China, as Vanke is a well-known name among developers. South China Morning Post reports that Hong Kong stocks are experiencing fluctuations as investors assess the sustainability of China's economic recovery, following the release of fourth-quarter GDP data that outperformed expectations. The Hang Seng Index saw a modest increase of 0.2%, while the Hang Seng Tech Index rose by 1.1%. Despite the positive growth of 5.4% in China's economy for the fourth quarter, concerns arose from the significant drop in shares of China Vanke, the largest property developer, which fell over 4% amid rumors of its CEO's police detention. Analysts emphasize the need for sustained policy stimulus to bolster economic momentum and address high unemployment rates, which stood at 5.1% at the end of December. According to the Associated Press, China's economy grew by 5% in 2024, aligning with government targets, bolstered by strong exports and stimulus measures. The National Bureau of Statistics reported a quarterly growth of 5.4% in the last quarter of the year, driven by a robust manufacturing sector and increased consumer spending. However, challenges remain, including weak domestic demand and deflationary pressures, prompting economists to question the authenticity of the growth figures. The government has implemented various stimulus strategies, including interest rate cuts and increased lending to struggling property developers, but experts argue that more comprehensive reforms are needed to enhance productivity and reduce reliance on construction. Nikkei Asia highlights that China's reported economic growth for 2024, while meeting government expectations, obscures significant underlying issues such as a sluggish consumer market and a persistent property crisis. The GDP growth of 5% for the year reflects a two-speed model where exports and manufacturing thrive, yet consumer spending lags. As the government prepares for potential new U.S. tariffs, analysts predict that maintaining similar growth rates in 2025 will be challenging. The average forecast for China's growth in the coming years is projected to decline, with economists anticipating a growth rate of 4.4% in 2025 and 4.1% in 2026, emphasizing the urgent need for effective policy measures to stimulate the economy. South China Morning Post reports that Hong Kong developers are expressing concerns regarding the open bidding process for the Northern Metropolis project. With around 100 companies showing interest, many feel that the tendering system favors those with more capital, particularly in the current sluggish economy. A source from a participating firm indicated that the project's high investment requirements, coupled with a lack of government incentives, rendered it less appealing. The Development Bureau has outlined plans to transform 30,000 hectares of land into an economic hub, but some developers question the viability of the project compared to cheaper land prices in Shenzhen. The government is under pressure to revise the tendering process to attract more companies, especially as the project involves significant costs for site development and public facilities. In another report from the South China Morning Post, the Hong Kong International Airport is poised for significant advancements as it celebrates the centenary of the now-closed Kai Tak Airport. The recently launched Skytopia initiative aims to enhance the airport's global connectivity and expand its facilities, aligning with the introduction of the C919 jetliner. The airport authority has signed collaborations to support C919 operations, emphasizing the need for skilled maintenance personnel as local training programs ramp up. The airport's expansion plans include new commercial developments and a focus on integrating with the Greater Bay Area, thus reinforcing Hong Kong's status as a leading aviation hub with an ambitious target of increasing its reach and capacity. Finally, the South China Morning Post highlights a surge in Hongkongers traveling to Japan, driven by the weak yen and an increase in airline capacity. With Japan welcoming a record number of foreign tourists, travel agencies anticipate a continued rise in Hong Kong visitors, particularly for cherry blossom tours. The yen's depreciation has made travel more affordable, and experts predict that around 3 million Hongkongers will visit Japan this year. However, this trend has negatively impacted local retail sales, prompting calls for innovative strategies to attract visitors to Hong Kong. The recent resumption of multiple entry visas for mainland Chinese tourists is expected to help balance the tourism landscape, potentially revitalizing local consumption amidst ongoing outbound travel trends. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Scrolling through the headlines, another crazy day. 6 degrees of stories, connecting in their way. From the weather to the sports, and everything we see. People making news on TV screens for free. 6 degree world, where the news comes in a whirl. Every story ties together like a ribbon in a twirl. Sit back and watch it all, big and small they call. From city lights to countryside, we're connected after all. A laugh, a cry, a sigh, news is flying high. From city lights to countryside, we're connected after all. A laugh, a cry.